you, genius. Oh wait, no, I swear, man. Someday I really will. But for now, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 10. Continuing to cover to the group stage, we move on to a match between AGameAnx and Cookies. Soban versus Soban. Pretty hype. Of course, we did just watch a game of that. And as I open the info.txt here, Cookies does actually have the lower seed on A-Game. Not every day you're going to see that. But again, that's because Cookies was a semi-finalist of Jaraci Cup 9. Congrats, by the way. And A-Game, of course, not having participated... Wow, I flipped him around. This is Cookies. And A-Game not having participated in Jaraci Cup 9, he is going to be coming into Group A at the lowest, the highest seed. Yes, I do make that mistake sometimes, but... Look, man, Battlefy's 4-star hand. He's kind of fibbing the base runner retire here, so this is a little bit awkward to see. You know what? Scratch that. He's actually going to keep this here. But let me just read our pick bands before we get too ahead of ourselves. Cookies does have the faction pick first, so he's often a Con F player, but he picks Soban for this one, and A-Game is going to match it. Clearly doesn't fear the mirror matchup. But then again, I don't think there's any matchups that A-Game really does fear. And Cookie's gonna pick the map here. It's gonna be Kartova. Yeah, I don't know. Is this even SC first? It is. But see, this here is the reason... Whoa, Cookies didn't retire base burner either. Oh, this is actually... This is a weird build for A-Game. It's kind of like 7-Up, but he keeps only 1 on RUs there. So he does the Salvager matchup as if it's going to be LAV spam, but then he goes into SC. But you can see his timing is definitely a little bit slower than Cookies. Curious. There's the probe, though. But Cookies even has the faster LAV timing. So the question is... is A-Game gonna have... Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, without the base burner retire, this is a little strange looking. So the question is A-Game gonna have more economy than his opponent for this? He has had 1 drop off of the LDMs already, and now they're just full efficiency miners. He loses RUs for this, though. Loses a bit of health on that probe too, but that's not going to be a huge deal. This is the relevant information. Look, here's the carrier. That means SC first, right? So if A-Game plans to follow with like air or something, it might be a bit weaker, but I don't think that's hugely impactful, because he's probably going to start with a whole bunch of LAVs. And that's a good point, Moose. Usually the reason why you get LAV fab at the timing that you do with SC first is because you might as well. There's nothing else to do. And also, if your opponent does happen to be rushing you, it's very, very nice to be able to see that and then say, hey, I've already got LAV fab started. Nice, right? Straight to rails, by the way, for Cookies. But it does not actually mean that you'll have a lead of LAVs on the field here. And, so that's the question, I guess. Does A-Game have more eco off the back of this? But he would, I think, be a little bit weaker to, like, a rush if that were to happen, but... This is Soban versus Soban. I mean, both very late-game factions, I guess I would say. It's not, like, very likely that a rush is going to occur on this. You know, there's no turret. Even if there was, there's targeting jammer to block it. So I don't even know if you'd see that in, like, CVS very much, but... And if it was AVs anyway, which is probably the rush that Coalition does, but again, it's Soban, AVs get sundered, it's not great. You don't really want to build LAVs anyway, so... Down goes the probe. Cookies did lose that probe earlier. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I feel like this build for A-Game perhaps will get its eco advantage, which I think it's going to have. I think in the end A-Game did get a bit of economy for that, kind of for free. We do see a little bit of field control being fought for now, though, as these LAVs here are going to... What's this headache really worth? Yeah, I think the answer is no. Anyway, the LAVs are going to encounter each other on this side of the field here. Very, very far up here. It's A-Game who's going for the extract. Now, he does have that base burner with the artifact in tow. Maybe could have picked up this one to be a little bit faster, because obviously you do get slowed when you're laden with the artifact, but then again, this is the more direct route. Cookie's not going to be able to stop this extract because we do have targeting jammer ready to go. In fact, the thing I was going to say is he needs to be a little bit careful about overextending here, even. So far it's 1 for 0, and Cookies actually can't capitalize on it because he backs up through the targeting jammer as well. Uh-oh. That's a little bit unfortunate. Probe here, by the way, gonna catch the railgun, so A-Game knows about that too. Has he even gotten a tech? Oh, he's got AVs done already. I didn't even catch that. But even here, he'll be able to win off the back end. So ordinarily, like when your opponent is that close, you're probably not gonna be able to stop them because the threat of targeting jammer is gonna force you to play a little bit more defensively, but Cookies chose not to play defensively, and then the threat of targeting Jammer became realized, and he just actually took a good trade there. He didn't wait on the high ground, though, which is where he should have been, but Cookies is focusing the base runner now, so AGame's kind of going to get away with this, too. Oh, I see. See, I was like, how did he lose an LAV? But he actually just sent that guy back to be repaired. Kind of at a bad time, I gotta think, but... Again, he gets away with this, so this base runner gonna live. And now, I often will say that I favor LAV Rail versus LAV AAV, because obviously the Railgun is a much easier to apply counter to the AV than I think the AVs are a counter to the LAVs. That being because the AV can never really chase them down, but having a huge range advantage here, Cookies can chase down these AVs in a sense. But in this case, AGame definitely has the numbers here, and he's kind of setting up a bit of a surround now as well on that Railgun. But I don't know where this is really going to go. AGame probably could have self-smoked that AV too. Didn't quite catch it. So it looks like the power of this build is sort of being manifested a little bit here. That being said, this AV here is going to be up on top of that Railgun's grill, alright. So it looks like that one is going to go down. Cookie's feeling like he needs to commit the carrier now to this defense here. By the way, AGame already unlocked, already getting power reserves, so he's pushing up here. Now his opponent has got rail fab, right? Taking the AVs now, actually, I gotta say, is a little bit of a mistake. But I'll get into that in a moment. AGame's just gonna say like, yeah, well I know you got railguns, but I don't really care, I'm just gonna come kill you. Which is crazy, but I love it. It's very, very aggressive, right? Well, that's maybe not even the right word, it's like decisive, you know, saying basically I'm gonna end the game here now. And Cookie's carrier is kind of flomping a little bit, but it is gonna push these AAVs off of the third base as the Sport Cruiser rotates back to hold the second. No CU miners on that, though. A little bit odd to see that. Little backstab for AGame here, and this is the power of the AAVs, is their backstab potential. That's something that the railguns don't really have. So, definitely playing into the powers of the build that he's got if he's going to use it. No investment into armor upgrades, mind you. And yeah, I was going to mention, I feel like AAV tech was quite a mistake for Cookies here, because he knew his opponent had AAV, LAV, right? So your AAVs, I think actually they do mesh very nicely with the railguns here, but only if you can kind of already be stabilized, and otherwise that money that you would invest into the tech would be much better spent getting more LAVs to complement the railguns. They give a lot of vision, so you could use that range advantage. Well, they're cheap, that's one thing, and they can also still fight against the LAVs from your opponent, so... In a situation like that where he wasn't stabilized, I feel like it was quite a mistake. And now he's going to be kind of realizing why he shouldn't have done it, I suppose. He's up close and personal here, so this Saban carrier is really powered up. It's already got 3 in 1 artifact. Close range on these railguns means AGame can pretty much kill him right out the gate here if he's paying attention. It looks like he is, so target fire comes out immediately onto these railguns. Oh, are they even going to live over this hill? No, not quite. Oh, it slaps both of them down. And like I was saying before, this Saban carrier is kind of a monster when he gets powered up here. AGame is a little concerned it might be overpowered, in fact. Well, here he is using it, so... I guess you can decide for yourself how concerned he really is. Second artifact extracts here, third one on the way as well. Power 4 done. And Cookies just really has nothing to respond to this. Myself, I gotta tell you, I love it. The fact that the Saban carrier gets really, really powered. That's good to hear. But yeah, Cookies, he's not interested in waiting for this one to finish the normal way. He's just gonna say, yeah, I ain't got nothing left. Actually, AGame's carrier's at half health here, but, well, not quite half, I suppose. That'd be like... I'm not gonna do math on stream, that's a bad idea. But anyway, Cookie's just gonna decide, yeah, I know how this one ends, I'm just gonna GG out right now. So that's game 1 in very, very decisive fashion, like I said. Fight had hardly started before AGame just kind of swooped in and crushed him there. And I should mention again, I mean, Cookies is obviously not the favorite for this series, but he's a player who is definitely improving a lot and puts up a fight when he's up against people... Even people who you would assume are going to beat him. I remember Sparrow had a match with him that Cookies actually won. I think he won a best of 5 series against him or something like that. And that was quite a surprise to me. Either that or he did well in the series. I can't exactly quite remember. This was probably Jaraci Cup 8 or 7. Someone go through the annals of history and check that one out. But then, yeah, Sparrow's remark about Cookies as a player after that was to say he's quite scary. And I was like, man, this is Sparrow we're talking about. This is like the Rail Rush King, you know? So I was quite happy to see that. And I agree. Cookies definitely starting to put up a fight even against great resistance. But last game, he got a little trashed. Let's see what happens this time. LEV Fab on the queue for A-Game here. He's already started that production upgrade very, very early. So this is going to be the LEV spam strategy. This time, Cookie's having the faction pick second. He's going to pick Conf, so maybe he's trying to avoid the mirror. Maybe he just doesn't like how it happened last time. But you know when he was SVS in the last game, that is. A-Game picking the map here, Torrent Crater. He picked this against me as well. A map that he authored. I think we're seeing the picture here, eh? He buffs the Soban carrier, starts playing Soban. He makes Torrent Crater ult, starts playing the map. He's just doing this to win. As if he needs help with that. Ref mode has actually started for Cookies here, by the way. And no, this is not the horrible build that makes me pluck my eyes out. He got ref mode and then started skim fab, which is the right way to play this, I think. Keeps the base runner though. And this as well has been a... the game was rigged from the start. This has been an interesting point of discussion with like Gaussian builds for a while now, is do you keep that base runner or not? There was a time where it was very, very meta that you would keep the base runner as Gaussian when you did ref mode first. There was a time that you wouldn't. That was very meta. For Conf, it's always been up in the air because you can make the blast drones, but you also don't get that scanner, which is the really big value. So Cookies, as you can see, kind of forced to assume his opponent is attacking because he has no vision. But he does have that blast drone production line open if he wants to build them. And he's going to catch wind of these LEVs here. But again, production upgrade already done. A-Game has a significant number of these moving out across the field. So a bit of a tell, to be honest, when you see him moving in 2x2 like that. Like, it almost seems like he's got production upgrade, right? He does in this case. So Cookies may be able to kind of posit what A-Game is up to here. But what that means is that he's in a pretty significant power trough right now. He needs to be really, really careful not to take trades if he can get away with it. And this base runner getting stuck this far forward is kind of the antithesis of what I just said. Gonna pop that smoke to try and stay alive. 4-on-4 he can take that fight, but he has to assume that reinforcements are on the way imminently, and they are. So this is a little bit dangerous for Cookies, but he does have ref mode, so he's gonna bring the PC almost to the main. I'll probably finish that move out. But he'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Oh, he's fleet capped right now. Uh-oh. He's got to fix that, and he needs tech too, probably. I mean, you could try and hold out for a second PC, but I think when you see this many LAVs on your face, you got to assume, yeah, tech is the answer here rather than going for another PC. And, you know, to his credit, he's landing these missiles, so he's microing pretty well, but it's clearly taxing his macro here, as he's not gotten fleet cap 45 for a long time. Now he has a Soul Chip Fab started, but he's let himself wander way too far out to the side here. I'm a little worried about this. I've just been singing Cookies' praises, but it looks like he's about to get donked here. Not gonna lie, this makes me very nervous. He needs to, like, quick drop these so that he doesn't lose the resources and then run out. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Yeah, he really doesn't want to... Oh. Never mind. That was actually pretty good. 2 for 2, and he gets these health bars really, really low. You know, as I always say, 0% health... Well, 0% health units are dead. 1% health units do 100% damage, but that is going to be pretty significant if it starts into a big fight here. Yeah, A-Game seems to respect it. He's going to sort of back away a little bit. Whew. Alright, well, I was just singing Cookies' praises. Here's why. He does survive this. So, actually, that was really nicely played by him. And A-Game going to decide, yeah, it's too risky for me to stick around. He backs away. You know, out of nowhere, it's a pretty good hold. I gotta say. The Soul Chip Fab is done now. And Cookies probably would not be remiss to build a couple of these. If he really believes that his opponent has just straight up left, maybe he won't, but yeah, there we go. This is just a good move because A-Game could still be here, right? And Cookies wouldn't know. As it stands though, these guys really, really damaged. They're just going to come back to the SC and try and heal up. But this is the thing that Descara has been doing a lot, that A-Game is clearly demonstrating for us all here. Immediately he goes up to 3 base, right? Really, really strong. I mean, look at this timing. And again, like I said, when you see that many LAVs, are you really going to go for second PC? Because while it's building, you've got this big weakness, right? And until you have second PC, you can't expand. So now you've been locked into a tech here for the Conf player. I think that air is really the option. I think that's what you've got to do. You have to say, okay, I need to put the pressure on here because obviously you're going to get up to 3 base faster than me. Now, Cookies doesn't know it per se. Uh-oh, Blast Drone's not going to make it there. But yeah, Cookies doesn't know it per se. He has not seen that 3rd base location, so for all he knows, this might be the 2nd. Then again, the carrier moving here might be a bit of a tell, but... LAVs here, just going to be able to ward off that scam. These are the guys who were injured, who were just healing up, by the way. But I'm starting to see a little bit of a numbers disadvantage here for Cookies, just a little bit. It's like 10-5 on this flank. Interceptor Fab is done now. He does have that second PC started. Very, very nice for Cookies. But his army is just not really big enough to support this extract, so I think that this base printer is probably forfeit. Actually, it has a blast drone in the queue as well, which is unfortunate as well. Interestingly, you can't cancel that. This is like the one unit production thing that you cannot stop after it gets started. But... Excuse me. Second PC now, moving on to that second base location. A-Game not going to push that base runner, so Cookie's actually a little bit emboldened here, thinks he can take this fight. Uh-oh, this is not good though. He's just kind of a little bit aggro, or idle with the Sand Skimmers here. And of course this Assault Chip is unupgraded too. I don't know what A-Game's got. He's got none as well. But this is a lot of LAVs. They're actually going to be able to kill this thing. So he'll probably manage to get the extract out, but... Yeah, he will get this extract out, but he's going to lose the Assault Chip there and all the skims too, which is kind of a big deal. He hasn't been able to get up on 3 just yet either. He's actually moving his carrier too. He's going to want to cancel that, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, he got the artifact. That's kind of the value up front that he was looking for. But he's a little behind, right? He's got these interceptors, which is good, but A-Game is already building missile ships, if I understand correctly. Yeah, there they are. He's nowhere near 3 base, right? Because he hasn't built any of the salves yet, which are a big part of the investment. And he doesn't really have a ground army to fight these LAVs either, so A-Game is just doing the same old thing. He's getting carrier power up. He's already tech 3. Now he's up into Assault Cruiser Fab, so he's not just going to go straight for rails, but... Oh, shoot, you're right. He's got missile batteries up. I don't know, man. That's a really good question. Interceptor is going to fly over the LAVs just a little bit, but LAVs don't do a huge amount of damage, so it's not a big problem. Does eat 1 shot from the missile battery, though. Ship? No, battery, it is. Oh my gosh. I was like, gonna catch myself this. No, wait, I was right. Freaking heck. But he doesn't get any salvage kills here, so. That missile battery already up. I mean, can he really go in again? I don't know if he can. This might actually be a good use case for Support Cruiser anti-air, by the way. But otherwise, A-Game can just build a couple more batteries. That's what he's gonna do. Anti-int gun. Yeah, that's a good name for it. And this air transition kind of fell flat a little bit. And yeah, actually, Vittorio Boom, you're exactly correct here. Look at this. Boom. Donk. Does manage to get that kill there because of his big brain plays. He did actually kill 2 RU cells, though, so this time the interceptors are getting some value. Losses at home don't mean too much, though, if A-Game just wins right now. He's actually taking the nuke already. Very, very early timing, right? We're not even at the 10-minute mark yet. To have the nuke done, that's kind of crazy. Of course, this is Soban. They get that at power 4. That's the reason why, and then they just have to tech it. It's a little bit of strange inconsistency there, but... A-Game is going to look to end the game right now, actually. And I feel like Cookie still doesn't really have anything to do about it. Although Conf cruise missiles, that is one idea here. Obviously, the poke from these is pretty insane. And you can't run away from it either, because Conf will actually have more speed than you if you even just take power 1. So, A-Game is going to have to get a lot done with the carrier here, but you can see, like, even at this range, he's hitting the carrier right now. Well, actually, he's hitting the railguns next to it, but you get the point. I mean, he's in range to attack. And his damage output is not bad either. Can't quite compete with these railguns, though, but there's the nuke. It's probably going to be... Yeah, it's right here. Oh. It's an interesting position. You'd have thought it would be kind of trying to head off the kind of carrier's escape. You know, the idea being if you can force your opponent to drive through it, then you can get a huge damage dump, basically. So wait until he's, like, right here and then put it there. But instead, just kind of zone off the eco, actually, which is kind of a 3v3 type of play. But looks like we have a little bit of a surround here for Cookies. I see, yes, that was actually the idea, was stop the mining. That's really fascinating. The AC is popping right now, though. And again, assault chips don't really do damage to the Swan carrier when it gets a bit of power in. Wow, he's actually taking a lot of damage. But, you know, all of this damage won't matter if he can't actually be finished off. That's kind of what this relies on for A-Game. And an assault rail actually popping out here to just try and get a bit of damage done. But again, he's not that low. You know, where like you could drive in with your skims and just finish the kill. He's not that low yet. Interceptor's launched here to try and do something to this carrier also. And Cookies definitely recognizes this is probably my win condition as I just continue bombarding him. He needs to power up the mobility support if he wants to do the support properly, but A-Game is getting low here. And yeah, that's a good point as well. When you're the guy in this, like, in the driver's seat, you're definitely going to be a little bit more worried about this than I'm kind of making it seem like, where it's just, oh, no big deal, I'm just getting killed by Conf casually here. But he has 3 support cruisers by now. And the damage output from these missiles, I think, is actually negative. Well, okay. That's not true. They don't heal him when he gets hit. But you get what I'm saying. He's not got the DPS to actually fight against these 3 support cruisers. And he is actually getting killed by this AC. I mean, ACs do damage to carriers, so... Oh, he leaves his PC alive. That's okay, though. Cookie's actually changing his power systems around just a little bit. This Tac Missile Barrage might just finish him off, though. Not quite, but it's close. But he wants to get a little bit of close combat weapons to kill off this AC. I like the idea. But this is where A-Game can have that F2 quick moment and just bring those LAVs in and finish off the carrier. And I believe that the kill ended up going to the Sublime carrier with one of its railgun shots, but either way, the kill always goes to A-Game when he wins. And there you go, he's going to get the 2 over Cookies. Probably the expected result, but interesting fashion. Game 1, it just felt like he just beat him down really fast. Game 2, very high tempo still, but a bit of a different method here. I gotta say, Cookie's hold was actually really not bad, but it's surprising just how effective it is to just pop up straight to 3 base after that kind of LAV aggression. I think that's kind of what's on display here. Again, a build really popularized by Descara when he came back to the scene here. I remember A-Game was just like DMing me like, Descara came back and in a day he's already broken the meta. I believe this is what he was talking about. But as you can see, it does win A-Game the match here. Oh shoot, I'm dumb. It's this guy who got the kill. They don't get veterancy when they kill a carrier. Freaking whatever. That's just unjust, you know. I can't stand for that kind of nonsense. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let's move on to the next one.